Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Glad you're here. So today I'm going to show you, these are a couple ficus cuttings that I started, I think it was in the spring of this year, so 9-10 months ago. And when I started them, once they rooted, I put wire on them just to give the trunks some movement. As you can see, both of them have a little movement in them. And when I put the wire on these small cuttings, I put the wire on a little bit loose. So when I put the wire on this one, for example, this trunk was probably about this thick as this one up here. So I put the wire on loose around that just to give it some movement. But over this year, this has grown probably twice, maybe 3 times as thick as it was when I put the wire on. And as you can see, the wire is starting to dig in to the trunk. I'll see if I can get you a close-up view of that. So once this, I should have taken this off a little bit, but these were on the back of my plant bonsai stands, and you just kind of lose track of them. I've got quite a few of these small guys, and when they're kind of out of sight or out of mind. But anyway, so today I thought I would just kind of show them to you, give you a little update on the cuttings and kind of, how I put some of the movement in it, and really just how to remove this wire and what to do with it. So today we're going to use the wire cutters, and these are made for bonsai. You could use just regular wire cutters that you get at a hardware store, but what's nice about these is they've got a kind of a blunt tip on them, so you can get up close to the trunk and cut the wire off. I suppose I could try to unwrap the wire, but since this is already dug in a little bit, I think I will. There's not a whole lot of wire on here, so even if I unwrapped it to reuse it, the pieces of wire aren't very long, so I think I'll just cut them off today. So you just go in, get really close to the trunk, push in on it, and snip that wire. And then bend it out, and you just continue on snipping the wire. I think what we'll do is I'll switch over to the wire cutter cam and give you a close-up view. Well, I hope you enjoyed the wire cutter cam, and hopefully that gave you a little bit, a nice close view. But once you cut the wire, then you can get in here with, I've used some needle nose pliers just to pull those little pieces off. Like I said, this isn't ideal because I should have taken this off sooner, but sometimes life happens and you kind of lose track of things. This wire here I stuck down into the soil, so that's gone. So as I move on up the trunk, I need to continue cutting, and I'm just doing just like I showed you in the up close video. Just make little snips along the wire, then you end up with these little pieces that you can just pull off. Sometimes you have to dig in there to get them off. Like I said, this isn't normally what you would have to do, but I let these go a little long. So this is one of the non-glamorous parts of caring for the trees. But if you just take your time, make sure you support the branches as you're pulling the wire off, especially these young ones, so you don't accidentally snap a branch. So there we go. The wire's off of that one, and as you can see, it's dug in pretty good there. Over time, these will grow back out, but like I said, ideally you wouldn't want to let them go this long to where it really bites into the trunk. But the way I look at it, it just gives it a little more, as it grows out, it just gives it a little more interest to it. It'll make the trunk a little more gnarly looking. And so we'll set that one aside and work on this little guy. Like I said, it's not a final styling. And some of these branches may be cut off in the future. Just not sure where I'm going to go with it, but I just like to style them when they're young, very early, just to give the trunk some movement. So as it matures, it has a lot more interest. Let's see if we can get some of this wire off. Just be delicate, take your time. There's that one. If we can dislodge this one, maybe unwind it. Like I said, keep the branches supported with your other hand, and then just unwrap. It's almost like you're wiring the tree in reverse, because you support the branches when you're wiring it, and you do the same thing when you're unwiring it. And you want to make sure you inspect your tree. It's pretty easy to see when they're this small, but I've unwired some larger trees, and some of the small wire on these fine branches, you can see the wire's pretty small, and it blends in, the color blends in with the trunk and the branch, and I missed some, and it ended up almost biting all the way through the branch. The branch almost ate the wire. It closed in around it, and it was very hard to get off, and almost lost the branch. So just be extra careful, take your time and inspect it to make sure you get all the wire off. But as you can see here too, I'll try to get in close so you can see this wire bite in here. But like I said, it'll give it some interest, and as it develops and matures, that'll smooth in a little bit. I think that's probably all we're going to do today. I'm not really going to do any pruning. I'm just going to let these continue to grow. Now that they're in the house under grow lights, they're not growing as fast because they're not in that really warm temperature that ficuses like. I do have some heat mats, and my lights do give off some heat, but it's not the same as being outside. So my goal for ficuses in the wintertime is just to keep them as healthy as I can and keep them alive until spring, when I can get them back outside. So I don't do a lot of pruning, a lot of work on the ficuses in the wintertime. But if you have the right conditions, I suppose you could, if you've got one of those grow tents where you have higher humidity, higher heat, you could probably continue, growing these through the winter. But I don't have that particular setup. I just have some shelving with lights, and it's, my house humidity and temperature, which is hovers around 70 to 75 degrees. So it's not ideal growing temperatures. But anyway, so I think that'll do it for today. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.